My brother yelled, "Don't come near my children, you're not family." So I canceled my monthly deposits into the college funds I'd been building for them since. Before we continue, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching this from? Subscribe, say hi, and be part of our growing family. I stood frozen in Dylan's driveway, my niece Amelia's birthday cake melting in my hands under the Atlanta sun. "Don't you dare come near my children. You're not family." My brother's voice cut through me like broken glass. Around us, neighbors stopped mid-conversation. Kids paused their games. His wife Sierra smirked behind him, arms crossed like she'd been waiting for this moment. I'd driven 3 hours from Savannah for this. 3 hours clutching the steering wheel, rehearsing my happy birthday song, excited to see Amelia turn 7 and little Asher running around somewhere inside. "Dylan, what are you talking about?" My voice shook. The cake, custom ordered, Amelia's favorite strawberry shortcake with edible butterflies, suddenly felt like a 40-pound weight. "You heard me, Naomi. Take your fake concern and leave." His eyes held something I'd never seen before. Pure hatred. Calculated. This wasn't my brother who called me crying when his kids were born. This wasn't the man who begged me to be their godmother at the hospital. But I'm her godmother. I've been here since, godmother. Sierra laughed, a sound like nails on a chalkboard. "That was before we realized what you really are." My mind raced back to 3 weeks ago. The family group chat. The message that started everything. "We need to talk about your lifestyle choices, Naomi. It's affecting our children." I should have known then. Should have seen what was coming. Instead, I'd ignored it, hoping family love would conquer whatever poison Sierra had been dripping into Dylan's ear for months. 6 months earlier, everything was different. I remember sitting in Dylan's kitchen, Amelia coloring at the table while he complained about mounting bills. "Man, Naomi, I don't know how we're gonna afford 2 college educations. Sierra's salon barely breaks even and my IT job." He trailed off, staring at his coffee like it held answers. That's when I made the promise. "I'll help." "Nah, sis, I can't." "Dylan, listen. I'm doing well. Really well. The consulting firm promoted me to senior analyst. I'm pulling 6 figures now. Let me set up college funds for them." His eyes had watered. "Naomi, that's too much. They're my godchildren. My only niece and nephew. I want to do this." So I did. Every month, without fail, $1,500 split between 2 accounts. I'd started them with $10,000 each. My entire year-end bonus. I didn't tell Dylan the exact amounts. Didn't want him to feel indebted. But I kept meticulous records. Every deposit. Every statement. Every penny I sacrificed from my own dreams of buying a house, traveling Europe, living my life. Because family comes first, right? That's what Mama taught us before she died. "Take care of each other," she'd whispered in that hospital room. "Promise me." Dylan had held one hand, me the other. We'd promised together, our voices breaking in unison. Now, standing in his driveway with birthday cake and shattered dignity, I wondered if he even remembered that moment. "What lifestyle choices?" I finally managed to ask. A crowd was forming now. Dylan's neighbor Janice, who always waved when I visited. The Thompsons from across the street. All watching our family implode in real time. Sierra stepped forward, her voice dripping with theatrical concern. "We know about your roommate." My stomach dropped. "Lacey, don't play dumb. We know you're living in sin. 2 women, unmarried, playing house." Her voice rose. "My children will not be exposed to that." The world tilted. Lacey wasn't just my roommate. She was my best friend since college, my business partner in our side consulting venture, and yes, okay, maybe I'd been developing feelings for her lately. But we weren't together. We'd literally just started acknowledging the possibility 3 weeks ago. Sierra, you've lost your mind. Lacey and I aren't. Don't lie. Dylan shouted. Deshaun saw you two at that restaurant. Holding hands. Looking all cozy. Posted it on Facebook talking about love is love, and tagging you. Our cousin. The one who'd always been jealous of my success. Who'd asked me for money 6 times in 2 years and got angry when I finally said no. Of course. That was a business dinner celebrating our new contract. We held hands for 2 seconds because you're in a sinful relationship. Sierra's voice reached fever pitch. You're trying to recruit my babies. Recruit. That word hung in the air like poison gas. Around us, I saw faces change. Some nodded in agreement. Others looked uncomfortable but stayed silent. Cowards, all of them. You know what? I set the cake down on the hood of my car, hands trembling with rage. I'm not going to stand here and justify my life to you. Lacey is my friend and business partner. Period. But even if she was more, even if we were together, that's my business. Not yours. It becomes our business when you're around our children. Dylan moved closer, his 6'3" frame trying to intimidate me. It was working. Those children worship you. They'll think your lifestyle is acceptable. My lifestyle. I laughed, the sound bitter in my throat. You mean the lifestyle where I work 80-hour weeks? Where I've sacrificed relationships and happiness to build a career? Where I've sent you money every single month without question? That lifestyle. Sierra's eyes narrowed. What money? Well, this was rich. Dylan's face flushed red. Naomi, don't what? Tell your wife how I've been funding your kids' college education for 18 months? How I've deposited nearly $30,000 into accounts you never mentioned to her. The color drained from Sierra's face. What are you talking about? Ask your husband about the college funds, Sierra. Ask him about the $1,500 that appears every month like magic. Ask him who's been making sure Amelia and Asher actually have a future. Dylan grabbed my arm, his grip painful. You need to leave. Now. I yanked away. Don't touch me. Don't ever touch me again. Janice from next door finally spoke up. Dylan, that's your sister. Whatever's going on, stay out of it. Sierra snapped. But the damage was done. I could see the calculation in Sierra's eyes. The mental math. The realization that her husband had been hiding a significant financial arrangement. We're talking about this later, she hissed at Dylan. To me, we don't want your dirty money anyway. Keep it. Oh, I plan to. I pulled out my phone, hands still shaking. Right there, in front of everyone, I opened my banking app. Dylan's face went white. Naomi, wait. Like you waited before humiliating me in front of your entire neighborhood? Before calling me a liar and saying I'm not family? My voice broke on the last word. I'm your sister. I held you when Dad left. I helped you through college. I was there when Mama died. I've been there for everything. That was before you chose your lifestyle over your family, Sierra said coldly. I looked at my phone. 2 college fund accounts. Balance. $32,847.63 total. Every penny I'd put in plus interest. My finger hovered over the transfer button. This is your last chance, Dylan. Take back what you said. Tell me I'm family. Silence. He looked at Sierra. She shook her head slightly. He looked back at me. Naomi, Dylan's voice was barely a whisper. I love you, but I have to protect my family. My real family. Real family. Those words shattered something inside me that could never be repaired. I thought about Amelia's face last Christmas when I gave her that American Girl doll she'd been begging for. $300 I didn't blink at spending. I thought about Asher. S first birthday when Sierra was overwhelmed and I'd stayed up all night decorating, cooking, making everything perfect. I thought about every soccer game, every school play, every dance recital I'd driven 3 hours to attend. Real family. Okay, I said quietly. Too quietly. The kind of quiet that precedes hurricanes. Then you won't mind if I reclaim what's mine. I initiated the transfer. $32,847.63. Back to my primary account. The phone dinged confirmation. Dylan lunged forward. No. Naomi, you can't. I just did. I held up the screen. See? Gone. Every penny. Because I'm not family, right? So why would I fund your real family's future? Sierra's face went from smug to panicked in seconds. You can't do that. That's their college money. Actually, it's my money. My savings. My sacrifice. The accounts were in my name, managed by me, funded by me. Legally, ethically, and morally mine to do with as I please. I smiled and I knew it looked cruel. Felt cruel. Good. You want to talk about lifestyle choices? Let's talk about yours, Sierra. The words tumbled out like an avalanche I couldn't stop. Let's talk about how your salon is failing because you spend more on designer purses than inventory. Let's talk about how you convinced Dylan to lease a Range Rover you can't afford instead of saving for your kid's future. Let's talk about your lifestyle choice of keeping up appearances while drowning in debt. Sierra's mouth opened and closed like a fish. How do you? Dylan tells me everything. Or he used to before you poisoned him against me. I turned to my brother. Remember last year when you called me crying because Sierra spent $4,000 on a purse? One purse, Dylan. I could have funded both kids' accounts for almost 3 months with that money. That's none of your business. Sierra shrieked. You're right. It's not. Just like my personal life is none of yours. I picked up the melting cake. But you made it my business when you dragged me out here to humiliate me. So let's air it all out. Janice's husband Trevor had his phone out, recording. I should have cared. Didn't. Dylan, do you know what I sacrificed for those accounts? I'm 34 years old. No house. No husband. No kids of my own. You know why? Because I work constantly to afford helping you. I turned down a marriage proposal 2 years ago because Robert wanted me to slow down, enjoy life, maybe start our own family. I chose you instead. Chose being Auntie Naomi over being someone's wife or mother. Dylan's eyes were wet now, but I had no sympathy left. The well was dry. Depleted. I stayed late at the office instead of dating. I took extra projects instead of vacations. I skipped my own birthday last year because I was too exhausted from working overtime to afford your kids' futures and my bills. And for what? My voice rose. To be told I'm not family? To be accused of recruiting children into some imaginary lifestyle. Naomi, I'm sorry. Sorry? Sorry. The cake hit the ground, exploding in a mess of strawberry and frosting. You don't get to be sorry. You get to live with your choice. You chose her prejudice over my love. You chose ignorance over family. You chose wrong. Sierra found her voice. We don't need your money anyway. We'll figure it out. Figure it out? I laughed, pulling up my phone again. Let me show you what you're figuring out. In-state tuition at UGA in 18 years? Projected to be about $60,000 per kid. Total, $120,000. Out of state or private. Double that. Triple if they want grad school. The numbers hit like body blows. I watched Dylan do the mental math, watched the reality sink in. You haven't saved a dime for them, have you? I asked softly. That's why you were so grateful when I offered. Because you knew you were screwed. We would have figured something out, Dylan said weakly. Student loans. Scholarships. They're smart kids. They are smart kids. They deserved better than this. Better than you. My phone buzzed. A text from Lacey. Where are you? You've been gone 4 hours. Then another. Naomi, answer me. I'm worried. I typed back quickly. At Dylan's. Long story. Coming home soon. Her response was immediate. Do you need me to come get you? That's when I realized something. Lacey had spent the last 3 weeks worried about me. She'd noticed my anxiety over Dylan's cryptic messages. She'd held me while I cried about potentially losing my relationship with my niece and nephew. She'd never asked me to choose between her friendship and my family. She'd never made me feel less than. She'd never called me anything but her best friend and business partner, even though we both knew something deeper was developing. This love. Real love. The unconditional kind. No, I texted back. But thank you for being you. Dylan saw me smiling at my phone. Texting your girlfriend? The word dripped with venom. Yeah, actually. I looked him dead in the eye. Texting my person. The one who's been more family to me in 3 weeks than you've been in 3 years. The one who didn't abandon me over false assumptions and bigotry. Trevor spoke up from his yard. Man, Dylan, this is cold. That's your sister. I've seen her here more times than I can count, always bringing stuff for the kids, always helping out. This ain't right. Mind your business, Trevor. Sierra snapped. This is my business when you're creating a scene in our neighborhood. Making all of us look bad. More neighbors emerged. Mrs. Patterson, the elderly woman who always baked cookies for block parties. The Johnsons with their 3 kids who played with Amelia. Even quiet Mr. Ross from the corner house. I think you owe your sister an apology, Mrs. Patterson said firmly. I've watched her come here religiously. Rain, shine, didn't matter. That girl loves those babies. Mrs. Patterson, you don't understand, Dylan started. I understand just fine. I understand hate dressed up as righteousness. Saw enough of it in my day during the civil rights movement. Same song, different verse. Sierra's face reddened. This isn't about prejudice. It's about protecting our children from what? Success. A aunt who cares enough to fund their future. Janice joined in now. Sierra, I've heard you complain about money problems. Literally last week you were crying about not being able to afford Amelia's dance competition fees. And here your sister-in-law has been secretly making sure those kids can go to college. She's not my sister-in-law, Sierra spat. She's his sister. There's a difference. And that difference is what, exactly? Mr. Johnson asked. That she's not married to anyone? That she's successful? That she loves who she wants? Dylan found his voice. Everyone please. This is a family matter. No, I said coldly. You made it a public matter when you humiliated me in your driveway. Now live with the consequences. My phone buzzed again. This time it was my cousin Deshawn. Heard what happened. Dylan called me. Son, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have posted that picture. I was drunk and stupid. I called him immediately, putting it on speaker. Say that again. Louder. For everyone here. Deshawn's voice crackled through. I said I was drunk and stupid. That picture I posted wasn't what I made it seem. Y'all were clearly at a business dinner. I was just mad you wouldn't loan me money for my car and... Dylan's face went ashen. Wait, what? Yeah, man. I asked Naomi for $3,000 for a down payment. She said no because I still owed her from last time. I got petty. Saw her out with her friend and made up that whole caption about them being together. I'm sorry, Naomi. For real. Sierra looked like she'd been slapped. You ruined their relationship over a lie? It wasn't exactly a lie, Deshawn said uncomfortably. I mean, they could be together eventually. The way they looked at each other. Oh my God, I said. You destroyed my relationship with my brother over a maybe? Over your petty revenge. I said I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. I hung up. The silence in that driveway was deafening. Dylan couldn't look at me. Sierra's face had gone from righteous anger to dawning horror. So let me get this straight, Trevor said. You kicked out your sister, humiliated her, stole her godchildren, and canceled your family relationship over a Facebook post from a drunk, jealous cousin who openly admits he was lying? When he put it like that, it sounded even worse. Amelia appeared in the doorway, her birthday dress pink and perfect. Auntie Naomi? Why are you leaving? I heard yelling. My heart shattered into 1,000 new pieces. I walked toward the porch, but Sierra blocked me. Don't move. My voice was ice. That's my goddaughter. Not anymore. For a moment, I genuinely considered violence. My hands curled into fists. Mrs. Patterson saw it, stepped between us. Let the child say goodbye to her aunt. You've done enough damage. Amelia ran past her mother, crashing into my legs. Auntie, did you bring my cake? Mommy said you were bringing the butterfly cake. I knelt down, tears finally falling. I did, baby. But it fell. I'm so sorry. It's okay. Her little arms wrapped around my neck. Can you still come to my party? Please? You promised you'd do the treasure hunt with me. Behind her, Asher appeared, clutching his favorite toy truck, the one I'd given him for his birthday. Auntie Naomi? God, this hurt. This hurt more than anything Sierra or Dylan had said. I have to go, sweetheart. But why? Did we do something bad? No, baby. Never. You're perfect. Both of you are perfect. I looked up at Dylan, making sure he saw the tears, the pain, the absolute devastation. Your daddy and I had a disagreement. Grown-up stuff. But I want you to know something, okay? Both kids nodded, their eyes wide and confused. I love you both so much. So much. And that will never change. No matter what happens, no matter what anyone says, I'm always your Auntie Naomi. Always. Then why do you have to leave? Amelia's voice broke. I couldn't answer. Couldn't speak. I just held them, memorizing the weight of their small bodies, the smell of their shampoo, the sound of their breathing. I stood up slowly, gently extracting myself from their embrace. Dylan finally spoke, his voice hoarse. Naomi, maybe we should talk. Away from everyone. No. The word came out strong. Final. We're done talking. You made your choice. Now live with it. But Deshaun admitted that he lied? Yeah, I heard. But you know what you didn't hear? You didn't hear you defend me. You didn't hear you tell your wife she was wrong to judge me. You didn't hear you say, my sister isn't like that. Or, let's talk to her before we jump to conclusions. Just believe the worst. Instantly. Completely. That tells me everything I need to know about what you really think of me. I looked at the neighbors, at the kids, at the melted cake on the ground. I want everyone here to witness this. Dylan Thompson, you are no longer my brother. Sierra Thompson, you are no longer my sister-in-law. Amelia and Asher. You will always have my love, but I can no longer be part of your lives. When you're older, when you can think for yourselves, find me. Until then. I pulled out my wallet, took out $200 in cash and handed it to Mrs. Patterson. For Amelia's birthday. Buy her something nice. Tell her it's from someone who loved her. Then I got in my car. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely start the engine. As I pulled away, I saw Amelia crying on the porch. Saw Dylan standing frozen, his face a mask of regret. Saw Sierra's calculating expression as she probably mentally tallied how much that college fund had really been worth. 3 hours later, I walked into my apartment. Lacey took one look at my face and opened her arms. I fell into them, finally letting myself break completely. "I've got you," she whispered. "Whatever happened, I've got you." And for the first time in my life, I realized that sometimes family isn't about blood. Sometimes it's about who shows up, who stays, who loves you without conditions. Sometimes it's about who you choose. And I was choosing me. Finally,